Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, where we decode female psychology, relationships, and attraction through real talk and science. Today's question hits deep. Should you share your password or passcode with your partner? Now, this might sound innocent. It's just a phone, right? But behind that one small act lies a whole world of trust, insecurity, control, and emotional intelligence. So today we're going to break this down through the lens of female psychology, relationship dynamics, and real-life examples that will make you rethink how you handle privacy in love. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly when sharing your password builds intimacy and when it's actually the first sign of emotional manipulation. 1. Sharing passwords isn't about trust. It's about control. You've probably heard this one before. If you have nothing to hide, then why can't I see your phone? Sounds logical, right? Except that statement doesn't come from a place of trust. It comes from fear. Let me explain through a quick story. A guy named Amir once told me about his girlfriend, Sarah. They'd been together for a year, everything was smooth, until one night, Sarah asked for his phone password. She said, "It's just so I feel secure. I don't want any secrets between us." He gave it to her. At first, nothing happened, but then she started checking his messages more often, then his Instagram DMs, then his photos. And soon she was questioning every female follower he had. What started as trust became surveillance. According to relationship studies, people who demand full digital transparency often struggle with anxious attachment styles, meaning they equate closeness with constant access. But real emotional security isn't about knowing everything. It's about trusting even when you don't. See the difference? When a woman feels emotionally safe, she doesn't need your password to feel loved. But when she's afraid of losing control or being replaced, she'll want access to everything. Your phone, your past, your peace. So here's the takeaway. If you give in just to keep the peace, you're not solving the issue. You're feeding the insecurity that caused it. And over time, that insecurity turns into control. And control kills attraction. If your partner ever asks for your password, pause and ask, would having it make you feel more secure or less trusting? If she can't answer that clearly, it's not about love, it's about power. 2, when she asks for your password, it's not about the phone, it's a psychological test. Here's what most guys miss. When a woman asks for your password, she's not always asking to snoop. She's often asking to see how you'll respond. Let me explain. In female psychology, there's something called a trust calibration test. It's not about the information she'll find. It's about what your reaction reveals. If you instantly hand over your phone saying, "Here, take it. I don't care," she might feel a short burst of validation, but deep down, she'll also register this as, "He's too eager to please me." And what happens when a guy seems too compliant? Attraction drops. On the other hand, if you snap back with, "Why would you even ask that?" she'll interpret it as defensiveness or guilt. So what's the right move? Stay calm. Look her in the eye and say something like, "I've got nothing to hide, but I also believe in personal privacy, even in relationships." That kind of confident, boundary-setting energy is magnetic. Because it communicates, you respect yourself, you're emotionally secure, you don't let fear dictate your behavior. Remember, women don't fall for men who give them everything they ask for. They fall for men who make them feel emotionally safe, yet mysterious enough to keep attraction alive. Think about it. If she already knows every message, every chat, every app you open, where's the mystery? And without mystery, there's no spark. So the next time she tests you, don't panic. See it for what it is, an emotional temperature check, and respond with grounded confidence. 3. Transparency is healthy, but oversharing is not now. Let's flip the script. Because some of you might be thinking, wait, isn't transparency a good thing in a relationship? Absolutely. But only when it's voluntary, not demanded. See, there's a difference between open communication and forced exposure. Example, let's say you're both watching a movie and your phone lights up. You casually mention, "Oh, it's just Ali texting about tomorrow's game." That's transparency. You're being open, natural, and you've got nothing to hide. But if your partner says, "Let me see that. Why is Ali texting you so late?" That's not transparency. That's control disguised as curiosity. Here's what psychology reveals. Healthy couples share because they want to, not because they have to. When openness is forced, it creates anxiety. When it's offered freely, it creates intimacy. So if your relationship is built on constant phone checking or location sharing, it's time to ask yourself, are you both building trust, or are you just managing fear? When you share everything out of pressure, you're not deepening the connection. You're erasing individuality. And the truth is, attraction thrives when two people stay connected but independent. Because here's the paradox most people don't realize. When you stop trying to own each other, that's when love feels most real. Build emotional transparency, not digital dependency. Instead of asking for passwords, ask for conversations. Say, what makes you feel unsafe in our relationship? That one question opens more trust than sharing any password ever will. 4. Why some women equate password sharing with love. Here's where things get interesting, because not every woman who asks for your password is controlling or insecure. Some genuinely believe that sharing passwords equals closeness. It's a love language thing. Let me explain. From a female psychology standpoint, many women link emotional intimacy with transparency. So when she says, if you really love me, you'd share your phone, what she's actually saying is, I want to feel safe with you. I want to know I'm the only one. But here's the problem. She's confusing emotional access with digital access. It's not her fault. We live in a world where love is measured through social media, who you follow, who likes your posts, who's in your DMs. So naturally, she starts believing that real love means full access. But mature love doesn't need surveillance. It thrives on respect and trust. So instead of giving in, you can reframe it gently. Say something like, I get why you'd want that. You want to feel secure. But love isn't proven through passwords. It's proven through how we treat each other. That one line does two powerful things. It acknowledges her emotions so she feels seen. It reestablishes your boundaries so she feels safe and respects you. See, when you set boundaries with compassion, not defensiveness, you show emotional maturity, and that's incredibly attractive. 5. Healthy boundaries make love stronger. Let's get real. Privacy isn't secrecy. It's a sign of individuality, and individuality keeps relationships alive. Think about it like this. A healthy relationship is like two trees growing side by side. If you plant them too close, they strangle each other. But if they're given space, they both grow taller, and their roots still intertwine beneath the surface. That's what emotional space does for love. When you both maintain your own lives, friends, and personal space, it makes your connection deeper, because now you're choosing each other every day, not just trapped in constant access. Psychologically, people respect what they can't fully control. So when you protect your privacy respectfully, it actually increases your perceived value. Women subconsciously crave men who lead with calm confidence. Men who aren't afraid to say, I love you, but my phone is my space. And trust me, she might resist at first. But over time, she'll respect it. Because deep down, every woman wants to feel loved by a man who stands firm in his identity, not one who bends under pressure. Don't argue. Don't defend. Just explain your boundary once, calmly and clearly, then show through consistency that you're trustworthy. Because over time, your actions will speak louder than any shared password ever could. Be honest. Do you think privacy and loyalty can exist together in a relationship? Or do you believe full transparency is the only way to feel secure? Share your thoughts below. I'd love to know what side you're on. 6. How to rebuild trust. Once it's broken, let's be honest, once trust is broken, it's not easy to rebuild. Maybe she caught you hiding something in the past, or maybe you discovered she was checking your phone behind your back. Either way, that moment changes things. Now here's the truth psychology teaches us. When someone violates your privacy, it's not just about the phone, it's about emotional safety being shattered. So how do you fix that? You don't fix trust with access. You fix it with actions. Because giving her your password after betrayal won't heal her fear. It just gives her a temporary sense of control. But your consistency, honesty, and emotional openness, that's what slowly reprograms her brain to feel safe again. Start with transparency in conversation, not technology. Say something like, I know what happened made you doubt me, and I'm not asking you to trust me overnight, but I want to earn it back. Not by giving you my phone, but by showing up every day with honesty. And then you prove it through your tone, your consistency, your behavior, because healing trust is like rebuilding glass. You can't just glue it and expect it to look perfect. You rebuild it layer by layer through effort and patience. That's emotional leadership. And that's what separates men who get temporary forgiveness from men who build lifelong respect. 7. The secret to making her stop checking your phone and start trusting you again. Here's something most people never realize. When a woman keeps checking your phone, she's not actually looking for proof of cheating. She's looking for reassurance. She's asking, can I still trust the story I tell myself about you? So the secret isn't to hide better. It's to make her feel safe enough not to need to check at all. And that safety doesn't come from deleting messages or being hyper-transparent. It comes from emotional predictability, meaning she knows how you'll respond even when things get hard. She knows you won't lie, overreact, or vanish when there's conflict. Once she feels that consistency, her anxiety drops. And suddenly, she doesn't need your phone. because she already trusts your presence. Here's the real game changer. When she realizes you're a man who protects both her heart and your own boundaries, she stops trying to control you and starts respecting you. That's when love matures. That's when the relationship shifts from insecurity to interdependence. And that's the moment she finally says, "You know what? I don't need your password anymore. I just trust you." So let's bring it all together. Password sharing might look like a sign of love, but real love isn't about constant access. It's about mutual respect. You don't prove loyalty by surrendering privacy. You prove it by being so consistent, so emotionally grounded, that your partner feels safe even without proof. And that's what healthy, high-value love looks like. Freedom, respect, trust. Remember this line. When two people stop spying on each other, they finally start seeing each other. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever shared your password with your partner? And did it strengthen your bond or make things worse? Drop your story in the comments. I read every one of them. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, because in my next video, I'm breaking down why women test men and how to pass every test with confidence and calm. Trust me, that one will completely change the way you handle emotional games in relationships. Until then, remember, privacy isn't distance, it's dignity. And the right woman will always respect both.